Okay, this video is high-fat phony, a you-know-what plot. And basically, high-fat phonyism, to me, is like the wolf, and the proles are like Little Red Riding Hood, gullible, naive, and trusting. Okay, first thing I notice quite often with the high-fat phonies is that animal rights are more important than human rights. Okay, save the puppies, save the whales, abort the babies. Okay, and then the next thing I often hear coming out of that group is drink 8 cups a day to get your water. Well, you know, what is water? Everybody thinks water is so great. Well, it's not so great if it's a typical tap water that's got F minus in it, if it's got so-called aluminum as a so-called clarifier, if it's full of estrogenic chemicals, it's going to decrease fertility, okay? You're going to, you know, F minus is bad for fertility. Aluminum is bad for fertility. All the estrogenic chemicals are in there. They say it's too expensive to filter out estrogenic chemicals from municipal tap water. All of those things decrease reproductive capacity of the person who drinks it. They sterilize the proles. You think that's a coincidence? 3 things in your drinking water to sterilize you? Yeah, I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Oh, it must be a coincidence. Okay, drink your 8 cups a day. Don't forget. I'm sure that an 80-pound woman needs to drink as much water as a 350-pound lineman. That's obviously stupid nonsense. Okay, it's obvious. Use your brain. I never heard of this 8 cups a day nonsense until they started selling bottled water and Gatorade like in the 1980s. The other thing is, you know, if you eat a lot of plant foods, there's tons of water in plant foods. You probably don't even need to drink hardly any water. Let's say eat your nuts and seeds. Those are, you know, of the high-fat foods, those are the best ones because, you know, they're pretty good foods otherwise, nuts and seeds. But they're just too high fat. They're like, you know, 80 to 90% fat's quite routine. You don't want that. That's why I never eat nuts and seeds. Okay. Olive oil is good for you is another big mantra, you know, and there is a joke that that's good for cardiologist job security, telling the public to eat olive oil. It's bad for blood flow. All oils are liquid fat, the highest caloric density of fat of anything. They make people fat, okay? Things that make you fat will also cause hypertension typically, cause diabetes typically. Stupid, all right? They're also prothrombotic, increase, I think it's factor 7 in the blood, increasing the tendency of the blood to clot. That's all bad. Blood sludge, that's all bad. Olive oil, you know, typically is like 11 to 14% fat. Fat also has omega-6 fats in it. It's, you know, it's primarily a MUFA, monounsaturated fatty acid, but it's still a bad thing to eat. You should never eat olive oil. Okay, omega-3. Now, omega-3s are currently getting totally overhyped because they're very profitable to sell. And, you know, they suppress the immune system. All fats increase your risk of obesity. They increase your risk of insulin resistance and diabetes. And they suppress the immune system. They'll increase the risk of infection, increase the risk of cancer. You know, stupid. Okay, enjoy your soy. Soy is like one of the biggest jokes. There's all this industry-funded, you know, positive press in the last 20 years, but you go back, read the older papers from the 1900s. You won't want to ever touch the stuff. And it's good to confuse kids probably about gender, so then the public schools can castrate them. Lowers fertility, lowers male sperm counts, lowers male testosterone. There's a good reason for the phrase soy boy, okay? Can change female menstrual cycle, can induce premature puberty. In animal studies, at least, can damage the female reproductive tract. I think in humans too, but I have to double check, confirm that paper. Get a vasectomy is another thing promoted quite often by the high-fat phony crowd. Great. I've seen so many men with chronic scrotal discomfort, heaviness, pain, the rest of their life. So these are ways to trick the gullible, naive prole. So I just give you guys a head up that there's a lot of negative stuff out there. You got to be real careful what you listen to for your own personal choices if you want to stay healthy and avoid these problems.